Hello, friend. Welcome to this gentle, short practice where we will be practicing entirely from a chair. This is known as chair yoga, and it makes yoga really accessible for some people who maybe getting on your mat feels a bit scary, or maybe you don't have a mat, or maybe you've never practiced yoga and you're not sure what it will be like. This can be a really great place to start, especially if your body hurts, if you're feeling the effects of treatment. Sometimes sitting in a chair can just feel a lot more accessible. So that is what we're going to do today. We will begin by reaching our arms up overhead, really getting a nice stretch all the way up, and exhaling to bring the hands to heart center. A few more times, reaching the arms up overhead, reaching long through the crown of the head, really planting the sit bones into your seat, and exhaling, hands come to heart center. Once more, reach, inhale, and exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. Now you can place your hands somewhere on your body, perhaps on your knees, and see if you can take your feet on the floor about hip width distance apart and really plant those into the ground. Really root down through the lower half of your body and see if you can raise the crown of your head just the teeniest bit higher towards the ceiling, really getting a nice long line of energy from your sit bones through the crown of your head. Now we'll take our shoulders and roll them up, down, and back. This might mean that your hands have to come slightly closer where they're placed on your body. And this is going to be our neutral starting position from where we move. This is a nice steady position that we'll find all of our other asanas or postures from. So from this position, let's take our hands and we can interlace our fingers and reach them behind your head, kind of forming this nice triangular shape with the base of your skull and with your head. And while you're here, see again if you can reach your shoulders up, down, and back, getting a little bit more lift through those back shoulders. This might feel like enough. This is already quite a big stretch for me. But if you'd like a little bit more, see if you can just lift your eyes, lift your chin ever so slightly upwards. There might be a tendency to hold your breath, but if you find that, can you just breathe? Perhaps breathing in through the nose and out through the nose if that feels okay. Breathing into the places that feel difficult. This is true in yoga, it's true in life. It's especially true in life if you're going through cancer treatment. You can find steadiness where this feels tough. One more breath. And exhale to release. You can shake the arms out of it. And then we're going to find that same arm positioning. Interlace the fingers, hands come behind the head, growing nice and long through the crown of the head, but this time tilting over towards the right side. Just getting a nice side stretch all along that left side of the body. Can you notice what your left shoulder is doing? If you're tended to round, can you just draw it back so that the stretch really comes from the side body? And breathing here. Perhaps closing the eyes for a moment if that feels safe, to allow the mind to go inward. And on your next breath out, return to center, and this time tipping over to the left hand side, getting a nice stretch along that right side body. You breathe into your belly here. You make your breaths full and nourishing. On the exhale, return to center. Release the hands, maybe shaking it out if that feels good. And then placing the hands back along the body, again, checking in with our positioning, so making sure Our toes are firmly rooted into the ground, about hip width distance apart. Our shoulders are up, down, and back. We're still making a nice long line from the crown of our head to our seat. And when we find that position, go ahead and take the head and you can just tilt it ever so slightly to the left. So looking over that left shoulder to whatever degree feels comfortable. Always remembering to breathe. Returning to center and then looking over that right shoulder. Back to center, looking again to the left. Allowing your breath to soothe you and calm you. And over to the right. Last time, over to the left. And right. Returning to center, we're going to play with some movement of our head. So start by tilting the head over towards the left, but keeping the gaze straight. So we're really just finding that stretch all along the side of our neck rather than with our heads. And then when you found this space, we'll take this over to the right hand side. So we'll just play with moving our head backwards and forwards, going at whatever pace feels good, taking care not to overstretch in this sensitive area, but just moving to a degree that feels comfortable and safe. The next time you're over to the left-hand side, see if then you can shift your gaze towards that left shoulder. So you start looking down and make a nice circle with your head. So really getting a good stretch into the neck, maybe even into the shoulders. Breathing as you do. After you found 2 rounds, just reversing your circle, going the opposite way, continuing to make that circle nice and big, continuing to breathe. I woke up with a stiff neck today, so this feels really good for me. Perhaps you linger just at the bottom for a moment. And then with your head at looking downwards, see if you can roll yourself all the way down. So leading with your hands, allow your hands to kind of slide down your upper legs, slide down your lower legs, and just let your upper body follow. Where you hang sort of in this position with your hands maybe near the floor, on the floor, whatever degree of movement feels okay. And when you find that position, where your upper body is close to your lower body, can you just let everything go for a moment? Resist the urge to hold your head up, but rather just release into this stretch. Might feel really nice all along the back. Taking one breath here. Exhaling out through the mouth to let go. Now let's roll up ever so slowly and just come back into a seated position. So hands sort of dragging along the legs as you get there. And finally, when your upper body gets there, you can then lift your chin, lift your head up. Let's take a few rolls like this. So tucking the chin into the chest, leading with the hands, rolling down, finding a full release, perhaps taking one big sigh out the mouth when you get to the bottom, then rolling back up. Move at your own pace. Don't worry about what I'm doing on the screen. And just continue to roll up and down. Really let yourself get a nice stretch along the back. Take one more round, and then wherever you are, we'll meet in a comfortable seated position. If you found your comfortable seat, closing the eyes if that feels okay, otherwise softening the gaze. Place the hands over our heart center, one on top of the other. Just taking a moment to give thanks for our bodies, to connect with our breath. Allow the effects of this short practice to sink in. And just to notice a greater sense of stillness and of ease we can take with us into the rest of our day. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I will just say thank you so much for practicing with me. If you liked this video, I would love it if you could like it or subscribe. I hope to practice with you again. And I hope that this video showed you that chair yoga is really accessible. And if you've never done a yoga class before, I hope that this was a great way for you to start. And I just want to say I'm very proud of you for beginning. Thank you so much. Wishing you a wonderful day and hope to see you again soon.